In accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, I hereby convene this meeting of the Board of Directors of the Lower Colorado River Authority. Today is December 9th, 2025, and the time is 1:29 p.m. A quorum is present, and the General Counsel will record each director who is in attendance. Okay. Do we have any guests with us today? Yes, we do. We'd like to recognize, Rich Paces from Kerr County Commissioner. Howdy, sir. Thank you for coming today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that I'm missing in the audience that I need to recognize? Don't think so. Okay, thank you.
I think he's going to speak.
Would you like to say something to the? Good. You're next up on the agenda, but go ahead.
All right, honorable directors. My name is Rich Paces. I'm speaking today as Kerr County Commissioner, Precinct 2, and as President of the Hill Country Energy Subregional Planning Commission. On February 11th, 2025, the Hill Country Energy Subregional Planning Commission was created under Chapter 391 of the Texas Local Government Code to provide for special planning needs as it pertains to Kendall and Kerr counties. Gillespie County has since joined our Subregional Planning Commission. On February 14th, 2025, the Hill Country Energy Subregional Planning Commission notified LCRA that they must coordinate the planning for any development, installation, or operation of battery energy storage system facilities in Kendall County or Kerr County, and that such coordination shall be conducted in a meaningful way and to the greatest extent feasible with the Hill Country Energy Subregional Planning Commission at the regional level as required by Section 391.009C of the Local Government Code. This section states, in carrying out their planning and program development responsibilities, state agencies shall, to the greatest extent feasible, coordinate planning with commissions to ensure effective and orderly implementation of state programs at the regional level. It is our understanding that ERCOT has identified a need for over 1,000 battery energy storage system facilities throughout the state of Texas, and that several facilities are being currently considered for installation in Gillespie, Kendall, and Kerr counties, adjacent to LCRA substations, which lie within an environmentally sensitive priority groundwater management area prone to severe drought and frequent wildfires, which could be greatly exacerbated by the installation of lithium battery energy storage systems that have an alarming history of thermal runaway fires, the spread of which would be disastrous for our residents. I'm here today because despite having served 4 coordination notices, LCRA has refused to meet with our Subregional Planning Commission as required by Texas law. LCRA has taken the position that it is a political subdivision of the state, and it is not a state agency subject to Chapter 391 of the local code. While our SRPC views LCRA as a state governmental agency subject to Chapter 391, based on its creation by the Texas legislature and the definition stated in the Texas Special District Local Laws Code, Title 6, Subtitle G, Chapter 8503A, a conservation and reclamation district to be known as the Lower Colorado River Authority is created. The authority is a governmental agency and a body politic and corporate. So look, regardless of legal interpretation, we believe that LCRA has a moral obligation to coordinate planning for best within or with our Subregional Planning Commission to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of our constituents first and foremost. LCRA has also taken the position that it is required by state law to provide transmission service to generation resources seeking interconnection on a non-discriminatory basis, and that LCRA has no discretion to choose which projects it will interconnect to the grid. By taking this position, LCRA is implicitly supporting the unwanted and largely unregulated installation of these potentially hazardous facilities for which there is no oversight. In my letter dated May 16th, 2025, we asked LCRA to advise us which state law requires it to provide transmission service to generation resources seeking interconnection, and which state law defines a BESS as a generation resource, as clearly BESS does not generate electricity. We have received no answer. Did I hit my time limit? Okay, I'll conclude there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you showing up and voicing your opinion. Phil, is there any? You want to wait till 2 more? Okay. Next up is Audrey Borner. Is that correct?
Burner. Burner?
Okay, Burner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. How are you
That's
today?
okay. That was
Thanks
close.
thanks
Better than some.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. Thank you for this time. BESS also pose a significant cybersecurity risk because they are unmanned, controlled remotely, and many have cattle batteries and various circuit boards and control equipment made in China. Our Department of Defense has realized the threat associated with battery and control system components made in China and removed them from all of our U.S. military facilities. In July 2023, the San Antonio grid infrastructure was taken over for 4 hours by Volt Typhoon as a result of the Chinese-made cameras that were connected. The Lone Star Infrastructure Protection Act of 2021 was transposed as Chapter 117 of the Texas Business and Commerce Code. Its aim is to protect Texas critical infrastructure by prohibiting contracts with or access by companies or government entities with China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia. The electric grid is specifically named as infrastructure covered by the statute. Further, in the 89th legislative session, the code was amended to include components made in China. While the code is not specific to BESS, we believe that the amended code would apply to all systems and components that are connected to our critical infrastructure. The Governor's Executive Order GA-48, dated November 19, 2024, specifically requires all state agencies to require any company that submits a bid or proposal with respect to a contract for goods or services to the agency to certify that the company and any of its holding companies or subsidiaries is not listed in Section 889. Yet we understand that there are over 300 attestations missing from projects that are moving forward. The ongoing ERCOT investigation into 300+ missing attestations underscores the need for scrutiny, as BESS failures mirror these oversight gaps. We would like to know what LCRA is doing to enforce Chapter 117 of the Texas Business and Commerce Code and the Governor's executive orders to ensure that the grid is protected from cybersecurity threats associated with Chinese-made batteries, circuit boards, and other components internal to the BESS facilities. Whether a bad actor intentionally causes a BESS to overload or they fail on their own due to numerous other potential causes, the consequences of thermal runaway lithium battery fires, which cannot be controlled nor extinguished and which release extremely toxic and harmful chemicals into the air, contaminate the surrounding soil, and eventually would likely contaminate our precious surface water and groundwater on which we depend, are dire indeed. The Crabapple wildfire in Gillespie County earlier this year is just one example of how easily wildfires spread out of control in our semi-arid and drought-prone hill country. Approximately 10,000 acres of land burned, taking with it over 30 buildings, including 9 homes, and destroying the lives of many. The last thing that any political subdivision of the state or state agency should do is place our citizens at risk from potentially hazardous facilities that have little positive economic impact and would never been contemplated without the former administration's false climate crisis narrative and the federal funding for unreliable wind and solar energy. Texas has become overly reliant on unreliable wind and solar energy, with over 44% of our electric generation capacity from wind and solar sources. In an attempt to stabilize our unreliable grid, ERCOT is planning for over 1,000 federally subsidized high-risk BESS facilities to be installed across Texas. To make matters worse, wind, solar, and BESS developers rely on the massive federal subsidies that pay up to 70% of their project's capital cost. Without these federal subsidies, loans, and grants, these projects would not exist. Thankfully, our current administration is eliminating federal subsidies from these unreliable projects. Thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Next up is Jeff Warner. Howdy, sir.
Howdy, Jeff Burner, Flat Rock Creek.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Representatives from the state's Fire Marshal Office provided the Kerr County Commissioners Court a presentation on BESS in January of 2025, in which they talked about whether the battery energy storage systems were safe. They stated that when malfunctions occur, around 2% of the data shows that it'll happen in around 2% of the installations. However, ERCOT and PUCT planning over 1,000 BESS facilities across Texas, we are asking one easy question. Are 20 thermal runaway fires acceptable? We have made you aware of very serious vulnerabilities and threats that BESS represent. Failure to take action to address these concerns or ignore your statutory responsibilities could be considered gross and willful negligence of your duty of care as director of LCRA, for which you may be held personally liable should a thermal runaway fire or cybersecurity attack take place on any of the BESS facilities. installed or connected to your grid infrastructure. I'd like to reiterate our belief that in addition to the legal obligation as a governmental agency, subject to Chapter 391 of the Texas Local Government Code, LCRA has a moral obligation to coordinate planning for BESS with our Subregional Planning Commission to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of our constituents first and foremost. So I ask you as directors of the LCRA to direct appropriate personnel from LCRA to meet with our Subregional Planning Board at the earliest as required under section 391.009C of the Local Government Code, which requires all state agencies to coordinate development and planning. Also, I'd like to say they're putting one in 1,400 feet from the front door of Harper ISD. I don't think anybody thinks that's good. Also, we had an event this year on Flat Rock Creek. There was a small explosion, lots of fire, lots of smoke. 10 minutes from evacuating Comfort ISD. Thank you. Thank y'all for letting me talk.
Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate you. Bill, would you like to?
Yes, sir, and members of the board, thank you all for being here today. Appreciate it very much. The board is not able to address you directly because we're not posted for it, much like you would the county commissioner. If the board is not posted, I get to talk to y'all, so I'll speak to it. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate the position, understand the position, agree with some of the position on a personal level and some of the things y'all said. A few things we have a different interpretation of the law on. We don't view ourselves as a state agency. And so under that criteria, and y'all have your interpretation, we're a political subdivision, and we don't have the same stipulation that you would interpret a state agency to have. But I do appreciate the position you're in and how you articulate that. The second thing I would say is that as we interpret the law, batteries are considered a generator. And we're required under statute to hook up generators, regardless of whether it's a battery, solar, wind, natural gas, coal, hydro, wherever it may be. And that's a requirement we have under statute to do that. On the cyber issue, which is a very important issue to us, we spend a lot of time and effort on that. That's really a Public Utility Commission and ERCOT conversation they need to have. We have to do attestations in our own system. I get it, that we're not buying parts and places and things from people that are on that list. So I'm very sensitive to that and understand the position that we'd have those same concerns if it was our system as well. So having said all that, the real solution, I think, in y'all's case is to talk to ERCOT and the PUC, which I know you're working on doing right now. In addition to that, it's probably some legislative clearance where the county would have more authority than they currently do under a zoning criteria. Right now, if you're in a city area, you probably have a different discretion you'd have on zoning than you would in the county environment. So in Kerr County, Gillespie County, Kendall County, those abilities are more, they're less available, the best way to put it. As you said in the Commissioner's Court, you understand what I'm talking about. So in many ways, we're all kind of responding to what our authorities are or are not in this process. But I do appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you today for those comments. We continue to take this very seriously and understand your position, and I thank y'all for letting us have a chance to hear from y'all and what you form the regional planning side. So thank you.
I thank you for the comments. We'll agree to disagree on
Yes,
the
sir.
legal interpretation. We do have a Subregional Planning Commission board meeting next Tuesday afternoon in Kendall County. Encourage you to at least send somebody so that you better understand our concerns and take them quite seriously. And the other thing, please send us the appropriate sections of the code that you've referred to where the law requires you to connect without discrimination.
We're happy to do that for that second part and
please
respond to
send
that, and we'll see if the schedule allows someone to attend.
Clearly, we want to address the law itself, and
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be working on legislative changes to do so.
I appreciate
But
that.
I'd like to know
Yes, sir.
specifically what you're being guided by.
Go ahead. Yeah, y'all are here. You drove all the way here, please.
I'm just trying to clarify what you said about cybersecurity and how.
Yeah,
Are we
so,
trying to prevent what the governor said,
well, I can't
we're
speak to what
trying-
everybody else
like
is
y'all have
trying-
a system in
Yeah,
place
I'm going to
and
give
you
to
don't
us. I can't speak to what anybody else is doing.
Right.
But when it comes to enforcement, it's up to the Public Utility Commission and ERCOT to enforce those requirements on that. From our standpoint, we follow the statute as well. We don't put things into place that are from countries we've identified on that list. So our equipment, we do a very thorough review of on our that our board's updated on. I'm being very thoughtful around this because this is sensitive information.
Right.
But we follow the law, and we ensure that we don't have equipment or technology in place that doesn't follow those required statutory requirements.
But you have a system in place. Thank you.
Yes, sir, we do. Thank you.
Very much so. Again, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it.
Can I just be, I'm sorry, who are you, sir? I'm sorry, I'm not being rude, I just didn't catch your title.
I'm Phil Wilson. I'm the general manager, so if it goes really poorly, you can, hold me accountable for it. All right. Yes, ma'am, you bet. Thank you. I should have told y'all who I was. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a song by The Who, isn't it? Who are you? Yeah. Okay, next up, we have Mr. Phil Wilson, our general manager. He'd like to give us a little update.
Good afternoon, Chair Cooper, members of the board. I would like to start my update by commending employees involved in the Transmission Resilience Summit. This is the third year LCRA Transmission Service Corporation is hosting the annual event, which connected subject matter experts throughout LCRA intent on sharing risk, updating ongoing resilience efforts, and participating in improvement initiatives. I want to recognize LCRA employees who were directly involved with putting together this valuable event. They exemplify the Colorado commitment which states, "I will make every LCRA endeavor outstanding." The summit was an extensive undertaking by the Transmission Resilience Program Manager, Bill Bible, and our event panelists, Peter Lewis, Director of System Operation Control Center Operations, Eric Martinson, Senior Director of Critical Infrastructure Protection, Dave Elliott, Manager of Transmission Line Engineering, Joe Raynor, Director of Cybersecurity Business Integration, and Kara Jaramillo, Vice President of Supply Chain. This undertaking serves as a strong example of LCRA TSC's commitment to fortify and improving our resilience posture, kind of like we just talked about a moment ago. Anyone who is here who is involved in this year's Transmission Resilience Summit, please stand up so we can recognize you for your important work. We also recently participated in another valuable exercise known as GridX, the largest grid security exercise in North America. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation hosts GridX every 2 years for the members and partner organizations of Electricity Information Sharing and Analysis Center. The purpose of GridX is to provide a safe environment for agencies nationwide to practice how they would respond to and recover from coordinated cyber and physical security threats and incidents. This is a pretty intense day. With the fast-moving pace of developing technology, especially with the increasing prevalence of artificial intelligence, LCRA has a duty to practice our response to a changing landscape. This exercise was a valuable opportunity to enhance our readiness, spread awareness of our plans, and identify areas for improvement. I want to say a special thank you to Mitch Hibbs, our Vice President of Resilience, and Mario Chapa, Senior Business Continuity Program Manager, for all their work in planning GridX. Mitch, Mario, and anyone else who participated in planning of GridX this year, please stand. On a personal note, we spent that day, and we have some very devious people who work here. They do some really bad scenarios, and so if you can think of really things that get you in trouble as a company, they did a brilliant job of making everyone's head hurt really, really badly. So thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Jason. You guys did great. In all seriousness, it was a great test of our system and our people, and it makes you really proud because you know that we were able to respond in an environment that was really tough. It was a tabletop exercise, but to be like an athlete or musician, you play like you practice. And we practice really hard. We do all the time. And this is a good example of how we get ready for an event where you have a tornado, a fire, an explosion, a cyber attack, media intrusions, a lot of these stuff is happening all at the same time, and they piled on. And it was great to see how the team responded in coordination and collaboration. So great work from everybody in the organization. Thank you all again. Changing subjects now to our parks, I am pleased to announce that LCRA Parks won a prestigious award from Outdoor Hospitality Industry, which each year honors standout parks across the country that are thinking outside the box to creatively advance the industry. and Outdoor Hospitality Industry's 2025 Annual Conference and Expo, LCRA Parks was named Park Innovator of the Year in the Multi-Park Corporate Entity category. The award recognizes the unique collaborations we've implemented to provide innovative experience for our guests, such as last year's Harry Potter experience at McKinney Ruffs Nature Park and the elevated accommodations we provide, including the OON, or Luxury Mirror House, at Lake Bastrop, South Shore Park. That's the best finish you're going to get all day. LCRA Parks has implemented and strategically partnered with innovative vendors to deliver unique and memorable guest experiences. The result is a blend of creativity, hospitality, and convenience to elevate our parks into year-round destinations. I would say we're redefining outdoor recreation in Texas. This award is a testament to the dedication and hard work of everyone at LCRA Parks team to offer memorable experiences to our visitors. If you're today from Parks, please stand and be recognized. Great work, team. Thank you. Now I'll switch gears and tell you about employee giving this season. LCRA employees have been giving their time by sponsoring local causes in the surrounding communities. LCRA employees offer several ways to give. For example, LCRA employees volunteered for HEB's annual Feast of Sharing, which serves holiday meals for people in need. Employees also had the opportunity to donate funds and send gifts to the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program, which provides children across Travis and Williamson counties with toys, clothing, shoes, and other much-needed items. Other groups at LCRA gave back in additional ways this holiday season. Employees at our Thomas E. Ferguson Power Plant worked with the Highland Lakes Family Crisis Center to provide Christmas gifts, food, and other needed items for families sheltering at the center. Transmission crews again volunteered their time and bucket trucks to help string the lights for a beloved holiday tradition, Hallettsville's Festival of Lights. For more than 20 years, our team has been part of this community celebration, helping hang more than 300,000 lights on the historic Lavaca County Courthouse. In addition, employees at Fayette Power Project raised money to contribute to the plant's annual Christmas for the Children campaign. Working with the school districts in Fayette County and the surrounding area, the campaign provides gifts to children and families in need in the local community. LCRA employees also volunteer throughout the year for Meals on Wheels, distributing meals to homebound older adults and people with disabilities. I'm so appreciative of the special efforts our employees make to give back during the holidays and year-round. I'm also extremely proud of the ways LCRA continues to serve the people of Texas. This past year, we've had accomplished so much. We have a short video to share some of those highlights. I'm so proud of the LCRA. Of the 11 years I've been here, I think this has been the most successful year we've ever had. First and foremost, we protect the public in times of flood. We protect the water supply. We save that for the future. There's amazing things. Turn the Timberman power plant on. Provide competitive price power to keep the lights on each and every day. We make sure the growth in our state with transmission can hook people up to create jobs and economic activity. We have an amazing park system people can go visit, take their families with, be outside, enjoy God's blessings of that. In our telecom sector, we do amazing things for people who don't have broadband or public service radios. Arbuckle Reservoir being completely done. Everything we do is critical to success of the area and part of the state. And you're in the middle of all that, delivering a great service with a great smile and a great sense of service. We've done a lot of great work, and I'm so proud of the team. Onward and upward. With that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my remarks. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, and we're so appreciative of each and every one of you, and it's an honor to be up here to do what we do, but it's what y'all do out there that make it so much easier for us here as a board member. So thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all those good things to you and yours. Thank you. Moving along. Appreciate you. Next up, Safety Services Update. Ms. Fran. How are you doing, young lady? You got all your Christmas shopping done? Done? All right.
You're up.
But I want to say that. I know that again. Well, good afternoon. I can start talking about just our performance. So I'll talk about 4 things today. I'll talk about our safety performance to date. I'll talk about our driver enhancement program because driving is one of the most dangerous things that all of us do, regardless of where we work throughout LCRA. I'll talk about our energy-based safety efforts, and then I'll talk about recent Safety Week. As of the time of this report, let me move it, sorry. We are actually showing about 53% better than industry average for our loss rate, our total OSHA recordable loss rate. Although we are not OSHA jurisdictional, we do trend and benchmark ourselves with other utilities because they track at this rate. So we're performing 50%, 53% better than industry. That number actually looks a little better this month. Our driving looks a little better this month too as well. Same with our preventable collision rate. We were about 19% better. That number now is about 3.04, which is substantially even better than what we show for this report. And a lot of those efforts, I don't take credit for that with me and my staff. I give credit to the leaders here at LCRA. When we started our risk-based safety program, which I will cover here, we were training everybody equally. But what we found were there were people in our driver pool who needed a little more attention because they drove more miles and they actually drove higher profile things. And if something were to happen, those would be the people who had the higher probability of an incident occurring. So we started to manage our driving through a risk-based approach, meaning if you come into the company based upon the role you have and the amount of driving and the sizableness of the vehicle that you drive, we classed you and we put a lot more training hours on those folks versus us just the people who may drive once to a meeting. So since we have done that, I like to knock on wood, we are starting to see good results of us focusing our efforts where they need to be focused. Beginning in 2023, we started queuing up, but we rolled out at the beginning of 2024 calendar year our energy-based safety approach. The utility industry as a whole has gone down the path of, along with Edison Electric Institute leading this effort, for us to start focusing on high energy hazards within our workforce. Typically, we look at all injuries. We don't want anyone within LCRA to be injured, but what we know for sure, there are certain types of hazards that if our employees experience those, it would be more likely to kill them. We call it sticky. Sticky can stand for stuff that kills you, but the industry calls it something else. And so we started down the path to really focus our efforts on the things that we considered high energy. In 24, we started with our leaders. We rolled out our energy-based safety classification and learning model. We trained specifically our leaders, and then we rolled out to the front line the recognition of energy, our energy wheel. As we moved into 2025, we started to focus solely on just high energy. We had to introduce energy first as a concept because it was a new concept for LCRA. But when we rolled into 2025, we did our same campaign with the front line, but we focused on sticky stuff. And we rolled all of this into our safety week, which I'll touch on as well. But we continue to train our leaders because what we believe is if we're going to move these initiatives forward, we need to have an educated leadership team, but we also need to have to where they can understand, our leaders can understand, it'll produce more successful outcome in the front line because the leaders will be able to speak to that, not just us trying to roll it in from the bottom up. So we trained our leaders on HECA. We have one more training actually, but it has been pretty successful. And we're seeing where we are, high energy-based safety is actually taking a hold here. These are the high energy hazards. I think you guys have seen this in prior presentations, but again, we're focusing on things that If a person comes in contact with these high energy hazards, the likelihood of death or serious injury is highly probable. In an effort to allow it to stick, to soak, to make our workforce, to give us more of an understanding, that was the central messaging and the central theme of our Safety Week this year. We had really good attendance this year for our Safety Week, not that we never do, but we started a couple years ago having Safety Week in a Box, where we focused on our efforts so that we took a lot of pressure off people having to come up with topics to talk about safety. We curated, is what I like to call it, a box for our employees so that we focused on the things and the theme of the year, which was high energy. We had 2,200 employees attend, and we had about almost 1,500 employees complete the survey. The survey is optional, but of the folks that completed the survey, 93% either extremely were satisfied or were satisfied with the way that we're doing Safety Week. And that is our presentation. Any questions?
I just want to thank Fran and the entire team. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you very much.
Very nice, well done.
No, yet.
Any questions or comments? I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
want to go back to something.
Go back,
Two
go back,
things. One,
okay.
the Safety Week is a big deal for us. And every year, I think we get better and better. And huge kudos to Fran and the entire team. Can you go back to the high energy thing? The
I
slide?
sure can.
I think it's a really important takeaway for the board in what Fran has implemented the last, I guess we've been doing this for a year and a half now in high energy, almost two.
Did
I
I
thought
turn
we
it off?
could.
I
It's
turned it
okay.
off? Did I? Okay, there it is. Wait, wait, hold on.
If you go to your deck.
There
on
it
that-
is.
There it is, right there. They've done a really, really tremendous job on looking at things where people can really get hurt. You know, for the longest time, and this is a philosophical change, we said, well, anytime somebody can get hurt is bad. We still agree with that. But how do you spend your attention? How do you spend your effort? And you're spending your attention and effort on high energy where someone may not make it home when they go to the hospital. And so a sprained ankle is bad. We're never going to dismiss that. Falling, especially a short distance, you know, that's all bad. We don't want everyone to get hurt, but you're trying to really train your team and your people on where are those things where someone can have fatality or real serious injury or high energy environment where you need to double down on your training, your protocol, your PPE, the ability to call timeout. And so I want to give a huge shout out to Fran that makes us better every day, keeping our people safe. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Now you can go.
Okay.
Well, I know every time you have every meeting we have, Phil, the number one thing you bring is safety. And I think having people like Fran and the people you've put together really promote and continue to propagate the understanding that there's no sense doing what we do if you can't be safe first. And like you said, make it home at night and
Yes, sir.
do your job and get home.
Absolutely right. That's the most important thing we do every
That's what
day.
it is. And so we appreciate all the work put forward towards the safety team. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for the board support and making this a critical priority for us. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. And thank you, Fran, again. Okay, next up, items 3 through 7, our consent agenda. If y'all had a chance, from appointment of an independent auditor to directors of Gentex, to attendance of seminars and conferences, director's fees and expenses, minutes of prior meeting. Who reviewed all those things?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Have a second. Any additions, corrections, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay. Item 8, approve the LCRA Transmission Services Corporation transmission contract refunding revenue bonds issuance and 50th supplemental resolution. Okay, again, Mr. Travis, I think we've gone over this, but now we have to,
Yes, sir. This is the companion item to
That's
the agenda item approved in the TSC board meeting, requesting authorization to issue up to $700 million of TSC long-term debt. Be happy to answer any questions.
Mark? Oh, he's over there, okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, sir.
How many of these bonds do we have out?
We got about $4.5 billion of debt outstanding right now
$4.5 billion.
on TSC side. Yes, sir.
Just
Okay.
just TSC.
Just TSC.
TSC, and then more elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
A bunch.
I mean, we hear about them regularly.
Yeah, the cumulative amount is that,
And that'll, as we've discussed, and looking at the capital plans and be coming up in the business plan, that number will continue to grow.
I would expect in the next 2 to 3 years, that'll be 50% more. Just to give you all a ballpark number of what we're looking at right now, the capital plan, next 5 years is going to be north of $7 billion, and it could be up to $9 billion.
Yeah.
And most of that's going to be borrowing capacity.
What percentage of those bonds are tax exempt, or
They're all tax exempt.
all of them?
Yes, sir.
Every bit of it?
Yes, sir.
Who's the buyers of the bonds in our portfolio? What kind of group? Institutional, banks, individuals?
Yes.
Oh, well,
No, I'm not being sarcastic.
Jim, can you unpack-
It's a broad,
This is really an important takeaway, Director Ford, to your question, and I'm always fascinated by this. When we go up, and Jim and his team do a wonderful job of being there at the right time and working with our underwriters to get this done, we're usually oversubscribed by 4 to 7x.
yeah, it can be as high as that. Just depends on
Yeah.
the market conditions
Right.
and what's
We
going on.
we always have a very readily pool of buyers. I guess that's my takeaway. We go in and we're credit solid. We have a great business model. We have a rate of return that looks attractive in the marketplace. And so we always feel very confident we go in that we're going to get a good buy off of that because people would like what we do and think we're a nice part of their portfolio, to your question, whether you're institutional or whoever's buying that way. So we're agnostic to that because we're selling, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Everyone's interested in LCRA TSC bonds and LCRA bonds. So we do usually get a large group of folks, a broad group of folks interested in buying those bonds. So we haven't, to use Fran's knock on wood, hadn't had any issues to date issuing our bonds when we need to issue them.
Yep. Any other questions?
of the 700 million, how much will be refinancing or paying down existing bonds? And if so, is that due to rates that you're trying to better position our
Yes, sir.
situation?
About 120 to 130 million of that, depending on what the market looks like at that time, are eligible for refinancing. And so out of that 700, about 130 million.
What type of rate do you expect we'll get, weighted average?
Weighted average right now, using today's rates, would be about 4.4%, which is about what we've been seeing over the last probably year or so. The short end is lower than what it has been, but the back end, the out years, long term, is higher.
Does the debt covenant have where the people loan us the money, can they adjust that rate, or is it fixed during
It's
the
fixed.
duration?
It's
Okay,
fixed.
good, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Good questions.
And we won't ever do that. We won't ever get into an ARM kind of environment for our bonds. I mean,
Arm, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't do arms? No.
spikes back up on you, and you're holding a lot higher
Right.
number. At least when Jim and I are here, because
Yeah.
pretty conservative approach to that. So yeah.
Any further questions? This is in your league, Bobby? No? I'm sorry?
Does this raise a number for Director Lewis to go to,
I
Mr. Chairman?
don't know if, I'm just asking.
Yeah, pretty high.
Need a motion, I'll make it. Okay, we have a motion.
Second?
Further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, Mr. Travis. Merry Christmas to you.
Santa Claus.
Okay, at this time, I do believe we need okay. At this time, staff and guests, if you would mind, we would appreciate if you excuse yourself from the boardroom so we can go into executive session. Okay. We will now go into executive session of the LCRA Board of Directors pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.086, 551.089, and 418.183F for the Texas Government Code. Today's date is Tuesday, December 25th, and the time is 2:08 PM. Okay, we have concluded the executive session of the LCRA Board of Directors and now return to open session. Today's date is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. The time is 2:55 PM. Okay, is there anything else we need to cover today before we go have a little Merry Christmas? That being the case, this meeting is adjourned at 2:55.